thank you all for joining us here at the 2016 Alumni Awards. I am Richard Beal, President of the Alumni Association. As you are finishing my dinner, your dinner, it's my pleasure to introduce you to two past honorees who will serve as tonight's Masters of Ceremonies. As it happens, both of these are good friends, and they are members of our Alumni Association Retirees Chapter, which serves the retirees members of our college family and staff. And together they represent two major areas of tonight's honorees. Please join me in welcoming back to the Montgomery College stage a holder of the Sonny Clogg Outstanding Alumni Achievement Award, Jessica Warnick. And a member of the Athletic Hall of Fame, Coach Phil Martin.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome, or shall I say welcome back to the Rockville campus. We're delighted to be back ourselves. Where's Phil? Where are you? I can't see you. Okay, we're delighted to be back this evening to celebrate some of Montgomery College's most successful alumni and students and former students and athletes.
First, there are several guests here tonight that we would like to recognize. Representing the Board of Trustees, Montgomery College, Mrs. Gloria Aparicio Blackwell, Second Vice President, Chief, Chair of the Board of Trustees, and Mr. Bob Levy, Trustee. Among the special attendees tonight is a past member of the Montgomery College Foundation Board of Directors, Camille Kendall, and her husband, Cliff Kendall. And of course, our Board of Governors of Montgomery College Alumni Association, Richard Beal, who we met. Also, Lori Thomas, Vice President. Yogita Purhik Gandhi, Secretary. Carol Leahy, Carol. Anita Neal Powell, Chair of the Awards Committee. Debbie Dwyer, saw Debbie. And Suzanne Thompson. Also with us tonight, the Alumni Association Executive Director, Mr. Greg Enlow, in the back. And the college's Athletic Director, Mr. Derek Carter.
Let's thank all of these boards as they volunteer their time and their resources to support the college and the students that we continue to serve. It is now It's now my great pleasure to introduce Montgomery College's Senior Vice President for Student Affairs, who is here tonight representing the college president, Dr. Darian Pollard. Please join me in giving welcome to Monica Brown.
Thank you. Hi. Good evening. How are you all doing this evening? Excellent. It is indeed a pleasure and honor for me to be here today to recognize our distinguished alumni. I believe all of the students who pass through Montgomery College are distinguished in their own way, but the men and women in this room have excelled in a way that makes them truly exceptional. I am grateful to the Alumni Association for managing the selection of our honored athletes and alumni. With the range of accomplishments you see in our former students, I know you had a wealth of nominees to choose from. We are here to recognize the accomplishments of tonight's honorees. Among them, we have a returning student who surprised even herself at her scholarly talent. She earned more degrees than she ever expected, practiced her profession as well as taught it, and gave back to other returning students following her path. We have a true rising star among our ranks, a Montgomery scholar who excelled in academics, then in the media, and then in the nonprofit sector. Our new Athletic Hall of Fame members include a basketball star who took MC to its first Maryland JUCO Women's Basketball Championship, an O-line center who made offensive MVP in NJCAA Region 21st team, and finally, the football team that brought Montgomery College its first bowl win. What an outstanding group. You may applaud now. You represent all that we strive to be as a college. You are walking examples of the power of education. You know how education can change one's life and change the lives of an entire family and community. But what is truly remarkable about the honorees tonight is not the personal accomplishments, though they are great, but in the ways in which they give back to the community. The college has grown tremendously since many of you first stepped onto the campus, if the campus even existed here when you were students. Between our credit and non-credit courses, we serve more than 60,000 students every year. To ensure that students of today are equipped to succeed, we have given special attention to affordability and accessibility. Every one of us is working toward the success of our students. And as part of the success strategy, just about anywhere you go at Montgomery College now, you'll see something about our partnership with Montgomery County's public schools and the universities of Shady Grove to build a pathway to four-year degree for students who might not otherwise have opportunities to thrive academically. That partnership is called Achieving Collegiate Excellence and Success, or fondly known as ACES. ACES assigns an academic coach to work one-on-one with high school students on topics such as college admissions, financial aid, and the transition from high school to college. If those students continue their studies here at Montgomery College and then at the universities of Shady Grove, they will have continued support from an ACES coach at each of our institutions. The college has begun funding scholarship to ensure the success of these ACES students, and I am grateful to the Montgomery College Foundation and to the Alumni Association for their support in kickstarting our efforts. It is a matchless way to support the next generation of our community students. So I would encourage you to remain engaged with our college, whether you write a check to support student scholarships, mentor a student, recruit a graduate. Find a personal way, any way, to show a stranger that you are invested in their future, in their family's future, and in the community's future. That is what will continue to make Montgomery College the vital institution that we all cherish and more distinguished alumni like you to celebrate. Honorees, you make us proud. Thank you and congratulations.
Tonight we come together to highlight the accomplishment of Montgomery College's alumni and welcome new members into our Athletic Hall of Fame. Among our honorees tonight is the winner of the Milton F. Clogg Award, presented to individuals who demonstrate exemplary service over time to their profession, their community, or to the college, The award is named for Sonny Clogg, president of the college's first graduating class, the class of 1948. Sonny volunteered tirelessly and gave generously to the college throughout his life. Several years before he passed away, the Outstanding Alumni Achievement Award was named in Sonny's honor, and after his passing, the Alumni Association rededicated the award to his memory. The names of earlier recipients of the Sonny Clogg Award are listed in your program, and some of my fellow award recipients are here with us tonight. I would ask them to stand so that we may acknowledge them. Sock, I know you're here. Since our last Alumni Awards, Montgomery College has said goodbye to one of our honored awardees of the past. Chief Carol Merling, class of 1968, was the first woman to serve Montgomery County's Chief of Police. She received the Outstanding Achievement Award in 1997 and later served on the board of the Alumni Association. She passed away last June 14th. Chief, we will miss you.
Also tonight, we are inducting into the Athletic Hall of Fame former members of our football and basketball teams and an entire football team. The Hall of Fame was established by members of the MC Club and the college coaches, and the criteria for membership included outstanding athletic participation and achievement as a student, as a coach, or as a player or coach after leaving Montgomery College. At this time, I would like to ask all current members of the Hall of Fame who are with us tonight to please stand and be recognized. I'm happy to have you here this evening with us back at Montgomery College, Rockville. I'm pretty sure that Ted Lineski and Dr. Tom Walker are over in that direction, correct? Good to see you all. Thank you very much for coming. These athletes are enshrined on the Hall of Fame wall in the Rockville campus in the PE Center. And it is a very nice display that all of their plaques are in the showcase. At this time, we ask Dr. Brown and Mr. Beal to join us on the stage for the presentation of the honors.
In recent years, the Alumni Association has created a new recognition award to celebrate a few students who make significant accomplishments within 10 years of completing their studies at MC. And that's where we will begin tonight. I would like to ask Dr. Mary Fergal to join me in congratulating the recipient of the Rising Star Young Alumni Recognition Award. Dr. Fergal originally made this nomination several years ago, and I'm delighted that she's here tonight to introduce her former student.
Thank you, Jessica. I was very proud and honored to nominate Carolina Peña, a Montgomery scholar from the class of 2007, for this award. She had a wide range of experience, as you can read in the program, within a few short years of graduating Montgomery College. She served as a television correspondent, a public relations professional, a magazine writer, and a broadcast producer. A few years ago, she was recruited to coordinate national membership and communication efforts for the Hispanic Dental Association. Her years of service to the community go back to the high school when she began co-producing and hosting Generación Latino, a cable TV show focused on educating and empowering Latino youth to succeed and to integrate within the United States. She's also served as a mentor to many students in the same way that her own mentors paved a way for her. And some of her mentors chose to follow her own path into the Montgomery Scholars Program. Those of you who know Montgomery College may realize that nothing happens very quickly here. In the time since I nominated Carolina, she's acquired a new name and expanded the Montgomery Scholars family. Her talents have not gone unnoticed elsewhere at the college, as she's now been hired back to MC as a multicultural content producer for MCTV. As with many awards, what tends to happen is a litany of achievements, and then one is left wondering about the actual person herself. I've known Carolina for now over 10 years, and I have to say that her focus on communication fits her personality exactly. Alumni leave behind the echoes of their voices and their footsteps at colleges. And Carolina's footsteps and voice have followed her and meant that she has been an incredible mentor for so many, many different people. Her name in Latin means to be free and strong. In French, it means beautiful song. And it's been a wonderful pleasure to be a part of Carolina's beautiful song as she has linked it with Montgomery College and has always looked out for those around her to help them rise with her. It is a great pleasure, Carolina, to see you honored tonight.
I'm really humbled to be recognized today because I just hope to give so much back to the college. So, you know, it's going to be, I have many, many years to do so. So to be receiving this recognition now only inspires me to continue to, you know, give back, to put my best effort to influence and mentor other students. Montgomery College really made an impact in my academic career, and in such a strong way. I mean, it gave me so much. The classes that I took really allowed me to flourish, to then pursue a career in communications, to continue to do the internships that I was doing and try a lot of different things. And then, you know, the relationship with MC continued as I volunteered for different things, or with the alumni office, or now working here full-time as a producer. So for me, it's a no-brainer. It's such an easy sell. I get to sell and promote the college that made a difference in my life, that changed my life for the better, and I get to do so by empowering other students, by promoting the mission, and because I know that the mission affected my life.
First of all, just incredibly honored to be here. MC is family to me. It's coming home. You know, being here, the years, and I always say this, the years that I spent here were the best 2 years of my college career, hands down. They just don't compare. And, you know, the education that I received here, you know, I remember it challenged me always. It challenged my assumptions. It helped me to think critically, and that is something that I'm so grateful, specifically for Dr. Fergal for, because she rarely gave an A. So, thank you. But really, it was the passion that I was able to pursue because of Montgomery College. I felt a unique push for me to flourish and doing what I loved. And so I'm incredibly grateful for that. And now I feel like I get to say that I have the best job that I could think for myself. And it is because of MC, not just because I work here, but I get to promote what I love and what changed me for the better. So it's an amazing privilege. I'm also very humbled because I stand here not really on something that I've done on my own, but really because of all the people who have helped me get to where I am. And because of the direct connection that you have given me to the opportunities that you have pushed me to. I remember talking to Maria Davidson about, maybe I could work in communications, and then she connected me to the alumni office years ago where I worked and helped for a little bit. And so I've always been able to remain connected to the college because of your believing in me and being able to do what I could do best. So thank you for that. There are just countless people that I can name, professors, counselors, staff, retired staff that are here who have set expectations for me that were always really high, and that has also really pushed me to get there. So I'm super thankful for that. So thank you, Dr. Fergal, for your beautiful words. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, John Libby, Jessica, Melissa Pace, and the rest of my MC family for believing in me. And I also really want to thank my mom, because it is you, because of your example, because of your sacrifices in leaving everything behind, leaving our country and coming here, that I was able to see that you can really push through some pretty serious obstacles. And then not just that, not just kind of get whatever you want, but actually dedicate your life to giving back. And that's what you do, and you demonstrate that to me on a daily basis. So I thank you for that. And I'm just, again, beyond grateful. So this is that reminder that the expectation remains really high, and I will do my best to accomplish that. So thank you.
Thank you, Carolina, and congratulations again. It really does give me great pleasure to see her up here winning this award, because as some of you know, and many of you don't know, I actually wore 2 hats at Montgomery College. I started the radio TV broadcasting program back in 1972, and I also was a football coach, so that's kind of a weird situation, but I'm very proud that you were able to win this honor, and very deserved. You are in very good company, by the way, because Ed Sanchez, a former Outstanding Alumni winner, was the producer of the Blair Witch Project. So I don't know if you remember that film, but it was kind of a cult hero type thing. So congratulations again. I'm proud to introduce our first Athletic Hall of Fame inductee for this evening. Chris Konrad was one of my football players in 1985 and 1986. Just a tremendous young man, just fantastic. Chris was a local Montgomery County product, a cherished recruit, and a great player. More importantly, he was and still is an outstanding person. In his 2 seasons with the Fighting Knights, Chris never missed a game, and that included 21 games in all, and probably never missed an offensive snap. He started every game we played during those 2 seasons. Chris was the epitome of what Montgomery College could do for a local county student athlete. MC was what Chris needed, and Chris is what MC wanted. MC was there to help him grow, help him learn, and help him prepare for the next step. Chris took a huge leap at that time. He came to us from Montgomery County, and a powerhouse high school program, Springbrook. In attendance tonight is Chris's head coach at Springbrook, a very successful and legendary coach, Bob Malloy. I want Bob to raise his hand and please. Bob is now the nationally head coach at Good Counsel High School, and his history is such a legacy in Montgomery County. He actually moved to, or bought a house in Ocean View, Delaware, and we're neighbors now, so we're going to get out and play a lot of golf. We've even talked about coaching again. I don't know, we'll see. But it's great to have you, Bob. I will tell you this, that Bob was always very helpful in my recruiting efforts, in steering his players to Montgomery College. So thank you very much for that, Bob. We as coaches knew that Chris would be a well-coached player because of where he came from. What we did not know was how good a person he was. He was always a yes sir, no sir kind of guy, and he still is to this day. Chris was undersized when he first arrived at 6 foot 210. That's not what you think college football players are supposed to be as far as offensive linemen. However, hard work and diligence in the weight room got Chris up to 288, and he was the strongest player on our team by far. However, he was a very hard worker at everything and fundamentally very sound. He gave great effort from day one on all the things that we asked of him. We just needed to help him grow into a college player. In 1986, through his hard work in the weight room and on the playing field, Chris increased to 288, as I said. He became the strongest player, benching 485 pounds and squatting 610. The best thing I can say about Chris was his tremendous attitude and his leadership, earning him the team captain title and role. Chris led by example in the classroom, in the weight room, on the practice field, on the game field, and in the public eye. He and also members of our team who are here tonight, Kelvin Dale, wide receiver, and Mo Banks, wide receiver, helped Montgomery College restore greatness and propel us to the national championship in 1986. That was a big feather in our hat at that time, and even 4 years later, we went to another national championship game, but it was led by this team. So the 1986 team was just tremendous. The Enterprise had its captain, Kirk, but we had our own captain, Konrad. He was everything a coach ever wants in a player and as a person. He was our Mr. Montgomery. Local boy made good. Chris was the definition of coachability, character, and class. Montgomery College was the bridge that Chris needed to cross to his future. Chris was a tireless worker who was instrumental in getting Montgomery College to an unthinkable heights. After MC, Chris went on to start for 2 years at Westchester University, where he earned his bachelor's degree. He is a wonderful family man, husband, and father, and serves as the Cybersecurity Engagement Manager for Worldwide Technologies Incorporated. Please join me in welcoming Chris Konrad into Montgomery College Athletic Hall of Fame.
It's a great honor. Ever since I played here and all the great players that played before me, it is a great honor to be here. So I was an undersized high school football player, and Phil Martin gave me an opportunity to play in college football. So it was the only letter that I received, and it was a great honor. I'm like, I need to go there and play. So I took advantage of it. We played with some really, really talented players. We had some coaches that are now in the Hall of Fame, in the Junior College Hall of Fame. We had coaches go on to the Arena League and eventually made it into the Hall of Fame. And the relationships that I built over the years with those coaches and players, I still hold, close to my heart today. it feels great to be back on campus. You know, we actually drove past the field and stopped and looked at that, and some things have changed, and there's also a lot of new construction, which is great, and seeing the campus continue to grow and thrive is exciting. First of all, thank you all, everybody who is in attendance tonight, and also congratulations to all the inductees already tonight. This is a great honor, and being at Montgomery College was some of my fondest memories that I hold near and dear to my heart. The most important people that are in my life are here tonight, and I'm glad that they're able to share this opportunity. First, my mom. Thank you for everything that you've done, taking me all my practices as a youth player, high school, through junior college, and also making all those trips around the state of Pennsylvania when I was at Westchester University. Coach Bob Malloy, Hall of Fame coach Bob Malloy, you gave an undersized kid an opportunity to play for you, and I thank you for that. You stuck with me throughout those years. So I appreciate that. Coach Martin, again, you gave an undersized kid an opportunity to play another couple of years of football, and I appreciate that very much. Again, some teammates are here tonight, Mo Banks, Kelvin Dale. I mean, you guys were great teammates, and we had a heck of a run in 1986, going all the way to that national championship game, and I appreciate that. My son is with me tonight, my youngest son. My oldest couldn't make the trip. He's in Denver, Colorado. But, you know, I wanted to point him out for the fact that he was able to experience a lot of the things that I did. He did play for Coach Malloy as well at Good Counsel High School. He's good friends with another Hall of Fame football player, Jim Steele, who got inducted in 2011. So I'm glad that, you know, he's been able to share those experiences. And of course, my wife, who I love dearly and puts up with me and my football junkie, I call it. Last, I just want to thank Mr. Carter, athletic director, and Dr. Pollard. You know, maybe one day football will be back at Montgomery College, and who knows, Coach Martin, maybe we can bring the band back together and make another run at a national championship. So again, thanks everybody, appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris, and congratulations. And because you're now in the cyber security field, I hope you'll have a chance to tour the great new cybersecurity lab that recently opened at the Germantown campus. I think you'll like what you see there. Please join me in another round of applause for Chris. Well, this is a moment I've waited a long time for. It was really long in the making. And I'm thrilled to introduce someone who will introduce this next honoree. As a longtime friend of the college, a dear friend to me, she is one of the most vivacious, interesting, and compassionate women I've ever met. And she will receive our highest alumni award tonight. I will ask Ann Rogerson, who knows her more than any of us about this honoree, to present the introduction. But first, I would just like to read something that one of her very first professor at Montgomery College wrote. This is from Dr. Frankfurt, Leslie Frankfurt. And he could not be with us this evening, so I would just like to read something to you from him, Barbara. Barbara Bozak, you certainly earned my enormous respect and admiration, first and foremost for your personhood and also for your exceptional achievements as a student, teacher, therapist, consultant, and friend. Your distinctive career, your long-standing activities promoting MC, and your many contributions to making our society a much better place. This certainly entitles you to receive the special MC award. Congratulations from Dr. Frankfurt.
Thank you. Good evening. Before I make my remarks, I just want to say the world is definitely getting smaller. Chris Konrad and his family were neighbors of ours. I and my 4 sisters who are here tonight all went to Springbrook, and my mom and I are now residents of Ocean View, Delaware. So when I reflect on my mother's life, I think of chapters in a book. Chapter 1, her childhood and growing up in Washington, D.C. When she graduated from high school, the family expectation was that she would go to work, and so she did for the federal government. She would have loved to have attended college after high school, but there was no money for school. During this time, she met and married my father, Michael Bozak. Chapter 2 is the year she raised her 5 daughters, always instilling in us a strong work ethic, which I can vouch we all have, and the importance of a good education. She made numerous sacrifices to ensure we had a wonderful home life and upbringing. I came home one day from high school with a brochure that said she could take, or they were offering college classes at Good Counsel High School, which then was on Georgia Avenue. That's about a 20-minute drive from our house. So began chapter 3. She took her first college class, Intro to Psychology, taught by Dr. Leslie Frankfurt, who was to become her mentor, associate, and dear friend. Little did she know that that first class would lead to an AA degree from Montgomery College, a bachelor's degree, and a master's of science degree from the University of Maryland, all while continuing to raise us girls, fixing a home-cooked meal every night, maintaining the house, and doing all the household chores. With the family of 7, again, there was little extra money for college. And with 5 girls, that meant 5 educations, 5 weddings, 5 wardrobes. So she worked her way through college to earn extra money for her tuition. Chapter 4 is her professional career. She worked as a co-therapist with Dr. Frankfurt, counseling individuals, couples, and families. She taught psychology at Montgomery College in Tacoma Park as part of their faculty. Then she worked with the federal government and the private sector, presenting week-long seminars to their executives. She also worked on the faculty of the Executive Management Institute at the Maryland University. Chapter 5 brings her into the present. In 2006, when my husband and I relocated to Ocean View, Delaware, outside of Bethany Beach, we invited her to move down with us. Being the oldest daughter and her go-to daughter, we thought it'd be wonderful if she could be near us. So, after a long and hard decision, she did move a year later to a beautiful house in a wonderful neighborhood next to ours. This was a very enormous and scary decision for her. While deciding to make this decision, she had 2 major concerns. First was, how was she ever going to make friends? And second, what was she going to do without Lord & Taylor's? So I told her no one dresses like Lord & Taylor's at the beach, so she could scratch that concern off her list. And as far as friends, she's tripled, quadrupled the number of friends she's had here in Maryland, and with her personality, it's no wonder. She starts every day with a walk on the Bethany Beach boardwalk with 3 friends before going to breakfast with them, and she's involved in a number of community organizations. For 6.5 years, she has led the bereavement group at St. Anne's Catholic Church. She participates in the Women's Civic Club of Bethany Beach, where she has chaired or co-chaired the annual Valentine's Day Tea and the annual Fall Fashion Show. She participates in the monthly Lunch with a Purpose, and she is an ambassador for the Mid-Atlantic Symphony Orchestra, which is a professional orchestra that performs 5 times a year in our area. My sisters and I are thrilled she has been selected to be the recipient of the Milton F. Clogg Outstanding Alumni Achievement Award. It is with great pride, admiration, and love, on behalf of my 4 sisters, I introduce you to my mother, Barbara Bozak.
Oh, I'm exhilarated. It's a huge thrill. And my family, my friends, my beautiful daughters, my 5 daughters are here, 2 of my granddaughters are here, and my former math professor has come. knowing how I struggled. Oh, there's oodles of special times that I had, but I had a fabulous professor, Dr. Leslie Frankfurt. He was chair of the department. He was my first psychology teacher. Had he not been so fabulous, that would have been my last 3 credits. It ended up, after I got my master's, that I worked with him as his associate, and we had an office in Chevy Chase. And then we traveled all over the US doing seminars, so I had a brilliant career, brilliant. Well, actually, this is Dr. Frankfurt and my friend Jessica Warnett. They both nominated me, and Dr. Frankfurt is a wonderful human being, and I'm sorry he isn't here this evening. He intended to be here, but what I love about him is that he always gave me credit for things that he was like the wind beneath my wings. I stand here with very mixed emotions. My heart is racing, and I feel the same fear and trepidation that I felt that morning that I left to attend Montgomery College and hopefully achieve my first 3 college credits. And if I hadn't had one fabulous professor, it would have been my only 3 college credits. As it happened, I also feel an enormous sense of excitement and gratitude and exhilaration as I did the night that I completed my oral thesis exam, and I called my late husband and I said to him, "Sweetheart, you can now put an MS in front of my name and behind it." And thank you. I actually lived to teach that same first psychology class right here at Montgomery College. And I had some beautiful students who made me look like I was a good adjunct professor. I want to tell you that I am so thrilled that my 5 treasured daughters are here tonight, along with 2 of my granddaughters, my cousins, and many beautiful friends that I've had for many, many years, including Cliff Kendall, who I've known since I was 8 years old, a few years ago. I'd like to also salute all those who are being honored this evening, and it's a special thrill for Chris Konrad, my old neighbor, that he's sitting here in the same hall that I am. Thank you, Chris. I love that you're here. And I love that I'm here. I would like to leave with you some words that I think are quite beautiful from a song made famous by Leanne Womack. I hope you never lose your sense of wonder. I hope you get enough to eat, but never lose your hunger. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. I hope if one door closes, another one will open. I pray that you give faith a fighting chance. And in life, if you get a choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you'll dance. It's been a lovely dance. Thank you, Montgomery College. Thank you.
Congratulations, Barbara. Just very wonderful. You're well deserved. For the next Hall of Fame induction, I am pleased to introduce another retired coach who almost could not be here tonight due to a travel commitment. Fortunately, she was able to rearrange her plans at the last moment. So we are fortunate to welcome back to Montgomery College Cynthia Changuris, who coached Patty Pfeifer for 2 seasons in women's basketball. Coach Changuris nominated Patty to the Athletic Hall of Fame, and her nomination was championed by her friend and the late coach and athletic director, one of my dearest friends, Tom Bickey. Cynthia, please.
I'm part of the Reading Glasses Club. Some of you might be as well. Good evening. I want to just say that I've joined the beach club too. I have a townhouse in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, that I spend summers, and in a couple of years we'll be there full time. So I feel lucky that I'm part of that club. And if you wonder about the last name Changuris, that's it. My brother is a well-known football coach in the county. Mr. Malloy there, I'm sure knows him well, Mr. Martin. And so we'll just put that aside, because I get that question frequently asked. I want to thank Phil for the introduction, and I'm so glad that I was able to get back here in time. It was a concern of mine, and I thank John for accommodating me at the last minute when I was able to be here. I look back on my years at MC as my biggest accomplishments as a coach. Thanks to Facebook, I've reconnected with some of the wonderful women athletes that played for me at MC. It's so nice to see their many accomplishments in life and to get a chance to peek into their family life and see what they've done as parents. And it's heartwarming to see all the things that they've done. This basketball team that Patty was a part of is the 1983 team that won the first Maryland State JUCO championship. It accomplished things that no other team had been able to do to that point. It started out, when I first started coaching here, it was struggles at the beginning, and it grew, and we got athletes like Patty to come to Montgomery College. That team was a memorable team, and it's a moment in time that I will always cherish. People would come to our games to watch for whatever reason, and then they would watch how they played basketball and the unselfish team play that they had, and they were hooked, and they came again and again, and we were filling the stands. And while Patty, being the great athlete that she was an unselfish player. With all her talent and that beautiful jump shot, she could have just been a prima donna and a star and just taken it all on her shoulders and tried to do it herself, but that was not her way. She was a team player, she was humble, and a great, great athlete. Her talents, while you can see in her credits that it says she was a dual athlete, she in fact was a three-star athlete at Montgomery College. She also played softball. And there was also some stats in there that came from a stat book I used to keep the years I coached here. And she holds many of the records, some top ones that you see there, and the others include most points scored in a half, most 30-point games in a season, best point average in a season, best point average for a career, most field goals in a half, rebounding average in a career, and best free throw percentage in a career. She was always a contender in steals, as well as the rebounds. In every stat category, she was a well-rounded basketball player. And I want to remind you that Patty played in a time when there wasn't the three-point shot, and she would stand in the corner at the baseline, almost against the sideline, and swish it like it was nothing, and from the top of the key, and didn't get the three-point credit. She only got 2 for that. So you have to look at her stats and consider that they could have been greater than what they reflect, and they're great as they are. She went on to go to Catholic University and probably could have had a really outstanding career there. Unfortunately, due to a knee injury, it sidelined her. It changed her career. And being the team player that she was, she came back trying to help her team sooner than she probably should have. And just never was able to really bounce back after that. But she did go on to play semi-pro. She had a coaching career herself, and she went on to earn a nursing degree, practicing in San Antonio. I also want to remind you, I meant to say in the stats, I also want to remind you that while she also didn't play when there was a three-point shot, she also played basketball when the girls were playing with the same size basketball that the men were playing with in those days. So again, credit to the talents that she shows with some of those challenges. I want to thank the college and the Alumni Association for acknowledging Patty's contribution to MC's athletic program. And I urge the committee to please continue to look at our female athletes from those days when women didn't have the same opportunities to excel and to shine in athletics that our fellow men had to do. And it was a challenge for them, but they came here and they played because they loved what they were doing. And this college gave them an opportunity to be a stepping stone to the next phase of their life. So again, please look back at those folks. If I can be of any help with statistics in any way, I still have now online my stat books from field hockey and basketball. And know that there are so many deserving young women. So without any further ado, please join me in welcoming to the Hall of Fame, Patty Pfeifer Hettinger.
I was one of 12 children, and my parents could not afford college, and at the time, I want to say it was only $27 a credit hour, and I also wanted to play basketball, and I was not recruited to a big school out of high school. We didn't have all the club teams back then, so I came here specifically to play ball, but also to get an education at a affordable rate. We had a great team, and it was almost like all the local talent from all the different high schools met together here and kind of put it together, and it was exhilarating, and it was a fun experience. Well, I got recruited by George Washington University to play basketball my final 2 years. Continued the major I had started here, which was physical education. Of course, George Washington called it human kinetics and leisure studies. Wasn't quite what I wanted to do. Got into physical therapy assistantship at Bethesda Naval and ended up teaching at Sidwell Friends for a year, phys ed, and then got married, and when I was 32 I went back to school to Catholic University and got my degree in nursing. And I'm a registered nurse. I used to be labor and delivery nurse for 11 years, and now I do surgery nursing. I myself love the fact that I was able to participate in sports. I think as a student, I think it's a great idea to try and get involved in many activities to experience college life, whether it's at the JUCO level or at a four-year university.
Thank you all very much. Thank you, Coach Changuris, for that wonderful presentation. This is truly an honor, one that I never expected. My times at Montgomery College were, like some of my fellow recipients tonight, were the best years of my life in college basketball, field hockey, softball. Basketball was always my first love, and when I got my Division I scholarship from here, it was a dream come true. Something I've come to realize with female athletes today is they have a lot more opportunity, and I'm so thankful for that. Montgomery College was a stepping stone for me, and I would encourage young students today to take the same opportunity. It's an affordable education. You actually get to play your freshman and sophomore year instead of sitting on the bench waiting for the juniors and seniors to move on. And then you can step right into a program. I have to shout out to my daughter who's playing softball for a JUCO college in Kansas. And she herself chose JUCO and played the last 2 years, and now she's on a full ride scholarship to Creighton next year. I thank Coach Changuris from my heart. I'll never forget. To brag, I wasn't on a shooting slump very often, but when I was, she would yank me out of that game, and she'd just grab me by the shoulders, and she said, "Are you ready to get back in there?" And I don't know what it was, but that was enough, and I'd get back in, and I'd start swishing that basketball again. Thank you so much for my family, those that are able to attend tonight. My parents, who are no longer with us, were probably my best fans. Dad and Mom raised 12 children, and they didn't get to support us children in grade school or high school. And a neighbor actually pointed out that I was getting written up in the Washington Post, and they started coming to my games and never missed a game after that. And my brother and sisters that are here tonight, Brother Bob, Sister Catherine, Sister Betsy and their spouses, my niece Anna and my son Ryan. My other son Tim was not able to make it, and my husband actually went to Kansas because the Jayhawk Conference tournament was supposed to be this weekend, which I almost skipped this to go see my daughter. It got rained out, so I'm glad I'm here. So they'll be playing Tuesday, but I want to thank all my former teammates because as Coach Changura said, basketball is a team sport, and those young ladies that I played with, they made it possible. And we were a phenomenal team, but without them, I could not have done what I had done. And so I thank them. And last but not least, I thank Montgomery College for this honor that they've bestowed on me. And from my heart, thank you very much.
Congratulations, Patty. I do want to say that I remember watching your games, and you were quite a player. I mean, you could shoot the rock, that's for sure. Congratulations again. We have one final introduction for the induction into the Athletic Hall of Fame this evening. Of all the honors bestowed this evening, this is one of the longest in coming. Join me with the introduction into Montgomery College's Athletic Hall of Fame and with Mr. Derek Carter, the Athletic Director. Derek.
Good evening, first of all. Thank you, Coach Martin. For the second time in its history, Montgomery College's Hall of Fame welcomes an entire team to its membership. That team's members were students before many of you, maybe not all of you, but a lot of you before you were even born. In the fall of 1954, the Knights football team had an undefeated season. Their 8-0 record earned them a trip to a bowl game, the Basket Bowl in Murfreesboro, North Carolina, against Shawan College. As I said, they had an undefeated season, and they won that bowl game too. We brought the basketball trophy from the athletic department, and it is here. I want everyone to see this. Although you can't see this, but I think someone kept part of it as a souvenir. But the trophy has held a place of honor at the college all along. To give you an idea how extraordinary that team was, I want you to look into your program booklets. There is a list of members of the Hall of Fame. I'm going to read a few of the names on that list. That list includes Tom Walker, Ted Lineski, and the late Marty Gallagher. Each of those names I just read out are members of that 1954 team. Two of them are here with us this evening, Tom Walker and Ted Lineski. Also with us from the team tonight are Jack Vance, Norman Sheets, Larry Bubis, and Socrates Kasutis. Several team members are no longer with us, but Sock has done some digging and brought in the children of those great athletes. Thanks for his efforts. We can welcome the family of Mo Pomerantz. They're here. Sock is about to earn another distinction himself tonight, as he becomes only the second alumnus in MC's history to receive both the Outstanding Alumni Achievement Award and enter the Athletic Hall of Fame. Congratulations. He's in pretty good company, too. For those of you who are cross-checking the list, the first double honoree is the legendary DeMatha High School basketball coach, Morgan Wooten, class of 1952, who I'm proud to say just happens to be my high school coach as well. Please join me in welcoming the 1954 Knights football team into the Montgomery College Athletic Hall of Fame.
It's quite an honor for me. I know a number of other people that have been vetted by the college, and I'm proud to be included with them.
Well, it's a thrill, because we're going back to 1954, where we had an undefeated football season and a bowl victory, and now, after all these years, to be honored and recognized for it is really a treat and an honor.
I'm eating it up. It's really something. I often daydream or night about the fellowship that we had with all the players.
I didn't have an opportunity to really leave town. Money was an issue. Montgomery College was affordable, and it fit just perfectly for me. In fact, I didn't have scholarships, but I was able, playing football, I was able to get 50 cents for a pair of shoes when I would shine them, so that was a little extra for me.
I came from high school out of Baltimore. First time in college, really didn't know what to expect. And the professors, they were really attuned to our needs. And we had questions, like one time in algebra, Mr. Schick had this entire formula across the board. And he turned and looked at the class, any questions? I raised my hand. He said, son, see me after class. I said, okay. So after class, he took me to his office. He says, now what was the question? And I told him, and you know what? He took the time and went through the same formula, and bingo, I found out where I missed it, and he brought it to my attention. And the same thing happened in chemistry, and the other teachers, they were all so wonderful in guiding us and teaching us.
No, I was proud to be a part of the team, and it was, as I said, it was a very nice team. I think we were ranked nationally, and I think we were all very proud of that, so it was fun.
It's really an honor and a privilege to come back. I'm so glad they remembered us. First of all, as I stand before you here, I feel very grateful to honor the 1954 football team of the Knights, if you will, as we were known. We were the burgundy and gold, and you might know that there's another football team in the area with the same colors. Well, the reason we were burgundy and gold, our coach, Frank Rubini, was able to get the discarded uniforms of the Washington Redskins. So they were our uniforms. And what was neat about it in those days, we just had numbers in the front and in the back, no names across the back. So that was our heritage. It was quite a year, 1954. We had an outstanding season. We had a quarterback by the name of, listen to me. Come on, Suck. Billy Course. Billy was not a tall man, but he had an arm that was a rocket. And he had the ability, once the ball was snapped for a pass, he had receivers like Jack Vance, Ed Holland, Ed Pfeifer, that he could see them and just throw that pass to them. We also had a running back by the name of Marty Gallagher. Marty Gallagher was absolutely a fantastic halfback. He was junior college All-American. What made Billy Core so successful, if you will, was the offensive line in front of him. Ted Lineski, Mo Walker, Ed Pfeifer, Ferguson Jemini, Sonny Harper. These men were giants, and they gave Billy the protection he needed. They gave Marty Gallagher the openings he needed. To show you what an outstanding season it was, the opponents that we faced during the entire season, they were only scoring 55 points against us. Billy Course, in those days, he called all the plays. And we scored 205 points against our opponents. Well, when we thought the season was over, Rubini, our coach, informed us that we had another football game, the basketball, in Murfreesboro, North Carolina. Now, why was it called the basketball? We found out that in 1954, Murfreesboro, North Carolina, was the capital of the world making baskets. They made small baskets, large baskets, color baskets, and obviously we got to be known as the basketball. Well, that team, Chowan College, was a four-year college. We were a junior college. We were Montgomery Junior College in those days. And it was the hardest and toughest game that we played that year. It really was. And we came out victorious with a 12-0 victory. And in that game, Marty Gallagher scored both touchdowns. And that was a total of 14 for the year. We don't, at that time, it was a school record. We don't know if it still stands or not, but shows you what an outstanding team we had in 1954. And in closing, since this is a tribute to the team of 1954, I want to read into the record all the members of that team. Frank Rubini was our head coach. Al Woods was our assistant coach, our defensive coach. He coached at the University of Maryland, and he was truly an outstanding individual. We also had an equipment manager, Jeffrey Lewis Orkin. And the team members are as follows: Dick Cooper, Dick Baxter, Norman Sheets, Ed Holland, Tom Walker, Sonny Harper, Socrates Kasutis, John Harding, Ed Pfeifer, Bill Gaskins, Bill Trundle, Adam Tanner, Bill Malloy, Ferguson Jemini, Larry Bubis, Phil Holmes, Marty Gallagher, Mo Pomerantz, Bill Course, Al Fox, Ted Lineski, Bill O'Connell, Jack Vance, Jim Sullivan, Ray Hart, Bob Kirchman, and Ben Campus.
Congratulations, Sock. It's good to see you get another award. So well-deserving, along with the teammates. As some of you know, Sock is also a past president of the Alumni Association. It was my delight to work with him for many years as he served on the association's Board of Governors. When I was alumni director, I constantly sought out former MC students. That's not hard because they are everywhere. Let's see how many of you are here tonight. How many of our guests are MC graduates? Would you stand, please? Don't be shy. Okay, now stay standing, because now you're going to be joined by those people that are in the room that have taken classes at Montgomery College, perhaps before transferring to another university. Would you please stand as well? Half the room, right? Thank you very much. For all of you who are former MC students, remember that we also have an online presence on Facebook as well as the college's website. Be sure to stay in touch with your Alumni Association. We have a couple of final details before you go tonight. To introduce the closing speaker, I would like to now welcome my successor as the college's Alumni Relations Director and Executive Director of the Alumni Board of Governors, Greg Enlow.
Thank you and good evening. First, I'd like to acknowledge a few people. This event doesn't happen without the machinations of a lot of people. So first off, I'd like to ask all the members of our board of directors for the Alumni Association to please stand and be recognized for the work that they've done. Anita Powell, thank you very much for all the work that you've done. We appreciate that this doesn't happen without you, so thank you. Also, I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge someone in the room who has done a lot of heavy lifting here, and that is John Libby, the Alumni Associate. Also a former president of the Alumni Association. I also would like to give a shout out to the Vance family. So, random as it may seem, they welcomed me into their family for the night, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much. It is my job tonight to close the event with introducing our trustees that are here tonight. But before I do that, I'd also like to remind you all of an event we have coming up in less than 2 weeks. We like to call it Dog Fishing for Scholarships for MC, and that's on May 10th. Yes, let's hear it. Okay, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, the Dogfish Head Ale House in I say it wrong every time. Thank you, Debbie, for pointing that out to me every time. They open up their doors for us from about 11 o'clock a.m. to 11 o'clock p.m., although John has kept them up later than that. And what they do is they give us 15% of their receipts for the entire day, whether it be their delicious food, their merchandise, or I've heard, I'm not 100% sure about this, I heard they have beverages there. I'm not, but 15% of that all comes back to the Alumni Association for scholarship for our great students. So, as they say in Chicago, when it comes to voting, come early, come often, and be there, invite friends, because the more they spend, or we spend there, the more they give us for our scholarships. Also, we'll have a silent auction there, so that also brings money into the Alumni Association scholarships, and that, again, comes back to get our great students that are deserving of our scholarships. I'd also like to acknowledge some of the students we have here helping us. I know Vidal's here, one of our students here in the Alumni Association. These two students are here to, they're our future. They're the future Alumni Association members. They're also our future. So without them, this is why we're here. So again, let's hear it for them. Also, we have several alumni and students who are helping us, not just here, but behind the scenes with our MC TV. We have an amazing television station. I know that Melissa Pace is here as our director, and I'd like to hear it for our alumni and students here. Carolina has shown us that you can have a future by the training that we do here at MC in front and behind the camera. So let's hear it for them. Now, if you'll indulge me before I introduce our trustee, for those of you who don't know, prior to my arrival here, I worked at the University of Maryland, College Park, in their athletic department. Go Terps. The reason I mention this is they compete in the NCAA as a Division I athletic department. That means that they're able to offer their student athletes scholarships to go to school and compete and go to school. At Montgomery College, we compete in the NJCAA in the Division III. And what that means is that we do not offer athletic scholarships. Now, as Dr. Brown mentioned earlier, we do have our ACES program, amongst others, where we offer scholarships to our students, tuition, fees, books, but we do not offer athletic scholarships. However, we continue to have amazing success in the field of play. So tonight, we happen to have a former student athlete who succeeded in the classroom and on the gridiron, and oh my goodness, it was for Coach Martin. So I would like to have you all help me welcome to the podium Mr. Carl Book to speak about his experience playing for Coach Martin.
That was a surprise.
Yeah, where's 32 years ago, right? Good evening, and thanks for having me here tonight. I'd like to start off by thanking Francine Walker for aligning me here tonight. My lovely wife, Tracy. It's been quite an emotional day. I missed dinner here, but we were at the prom pictures for our twin boys, and of course they couldn't do them at the same place. They had to divide us, so made it here a little late, but we're here. In 1984, as a senior in high school, I was a man sort of without an island. I went to enlist in the U.S. Navy, was going through processing, and they discovered I had asthma, so they asked me to step out of line, get back in the van, and we'll drive you home. Got home that night, my dad said, "Where are you going to?" I said, "I didn't get in." At the time, he was a contractor, worked for a contracting company. He said, "Well, I got a job for you as a construction laborer." I said, "No, hold on. I've been doing that for, all through high school, and as soon as I could work," I said, "How about give me a chance? I'm going to go over and see the football coach at Montgomery." And he looked at me and said, "You're going to college?" And I said, "Yeah, I think I am." He goes, "With those grades?" I said, "Yeah, just give me a shot," right? So, Coach, I don't know if you remember, I walked in your office and asked you for a tryout, and you gave it to me, and it was Coach Basie, who's the guy I remember, and believe it or not, I made the team as a wide receiver. And several weeks later, I noticed all the quarterbacks that were throwing to us had quit the team. First lesson, right? Persevere. And Coach Martin and Coach Daly came over and said, "Hey, we're going to move you over to quarterback." So, okay, here we are, right? So Montgomery College, Phil Martin, they gave me a chance. And the two of the best years of my life were spent playing football as a backup for 2 years behind Earl Hoffman, and I believe it was Mitch Bullock. And for these guys, and how much fun did we have. Fast forward, I'm with a group of friends 2 years ago and said, "Hey, we're having a conversation, who's the greatest basketball coach of all time? Who's the greatest football coach?" And then it came to, what man in your life had the greatest impact on you other than your father? And immediately it came to my head, it was Phil Martin, Coach Phil Martin. Now, I left Montgomery College, mind you, I threw 2 touchdown passes in my career here. One mop-up duty out on this field as we drive out. And because of that, the next year I'm getting letters from all over the country, right? And I'm not very good. But this guy was working on our behalf. This college was working on my behalf. And although I ended up, ultimately, I graduated from Elon College, Elon University now, my heart and my soul is at MC nights. I didn't know the Redskins story until tonight, Coach. My dad would have loved that. He passed away several years ago. But I love this college. We're able tonight to start a scholarship in Coach's name for the ACES program, and I hope that the school can decide who's the next deserving person to benefit from this wonderful school. What a place. Thank you.
So what Mr. Book is alluding to is he has created an endowment in the honor of Coach Phil Martin for $25,000 so that it will live in perpetuity for Coach Martin. So let's hear it again, please.
Just absolutely blown away. I had no idea I think I was set up for this whole thing because Greg Enlow and I met at the Red Hot and Blue in Annapolis, and he says, you know, we need an MC. And I said, you know, I don't think I'm that type of guy, you know. But he said, oh, you can do it, you can do it. And he had this all in mind all the way, I guess. And Carl Book, who played for me in '84 and '85, came out with a very generous donation.
It's hard to describe. It's something I've thought about for many years, and as I said up there tonight, we were sitting around a group of friends, and us, we go every year to the NCAA basketball tournament, and in the evening we sit around and tell stories, and it started out, hey, who's the greatest football coach, who's the greatest basketball coach, and then what man made the greatest impact on your life other than your father? And that was pretty easy for me. It was Phil Martin, Coach Phil Martin. Gave me a chance when I needed it.
Well, I think that MC is like a bridge, and I tried to say that earlier, that, you know, you got to get from one place to the other side, and so many times, you know, people are trying to get over the river and they don't have a way to get to the other side very well, and MC is that way of getting over and making you feel comfortable, making you prepared and successful enough to feel confident that you can go on and accomplish a lot of things at the four-year schools. And so many times, people would come back after they've left us, gone to the four-year program, come back and said, you know, it was so nice here at Montgomery. You know, the equipment, the faculty, everything was so wonderful. And they didn't get the same feeling at the four-year school. Well, this really took me off guard here. So, excuse me if get a little emotional, but it's interesting. I figured out it was 44 years ago that I started in this room at a faculty meeting. And I was here for television production, photography, and film. And lo and behold, in 1982, they needed a football coach. They said they were about ready to drop the program at that time. And they said if a full-time faculty member didn't take it, they were going to drop the team. And I didn't want that to happen. So I went from being an assistant coach, and then I was kind of away. I was playing semi-pro football for a little while, and then this opportunity came up. And lo and behold, 1982 goes to 2002, 21 years later, I'm still coaching football. And I got to tell you, I still miss it today. It really was the hardest time of my life to hear that they dropped the football program because of all the goodness that this college did for these young men. Chris Konrad, Mo Banks, Kelvin Dale, Carl Book, who I did not expect to be here tonight. It's unbelievable. But we had a great go of it. And it's unfortunate that the powers that be at the time decided that, you know, it had just financially couldn't make it. But 54 years, Montgomery College had a program, and it was really, I don't think there was ever a losing season. Of all the 6 head coaches that were here, Tacoma Park and at Rockville. And I just was very, very blessed and just so fortunate to be here at the college, grow as a person from a 23-year-old snot-nosed kid, basically, to a 54-year-old old-timer, and what Montgomery College did for me, too. You know, it meant a whole lot. And to come back here is just tremendous. And thank you, Carl. Thank you to the Alumni Association. And thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you for allowing me that indulgence. I appreciate it. A couple of other thank yous. I would like to acknowledge Richard Beal, our Alumni Association president. He has done an amazing job over the last 2 years as our president, and I'd like everyone to give him a round of applause. It takes a lot of heart and dedication to be a volunteer for an organization and put your time and efforts into it, and also have to work with me. So, I appreciate that, Richard. Also, I'd like to acknowledge all of our recipients today. Barbara, Carolina, Patricia, the team of 1954, and Chris, congratulations. You're amazing alumni, and we're so proud to claim you as ours. Thank you so much. Montgomery College is truly a family. When we talk about that, the alumni, the staff, the faculty, we all come together to represent what is great about this college. And we're educating young minds to stay here and build our economic development within the county. If we educate them here, they will stay here, and that will build our economy. We are also very fortunate to have trustees here. As Anita mentioned earlier, Bob Hydorn, who is a trustee for us, couldn't be here because his son is being deployed to protect us. And so our hearts go out and our prayers go out to Bob and his family for a safe return. But I know that he would be here in spirit, and he's definitely thinking of us. Bob is the first former president of the Alumni Association to be named a trustee. So I'd like to acknowledge Bob in that regard, please. Also here today, and it's been mentioned, is Bob Levy. And Bob Levy is a tireless worker for us here at the college. He's just recently been named a member of the trustees, but he's worked for us for years. He's a retired journalist and columnist for the Washington Post, and also Master of Ceremonies for our Mobile Masterpieces event here at the college. So Bob, thank you so much for everything you do for us. And finally, because I know you don't want to hear or see me anymore, we have Gloria Aparicio Blackwell here. She is the second vice chair of our Board of Trustees, working hard and advocating for us as a college.
I also was a student here when I came from Venezuela many moons ago. Didn't know a word of English, so I was in the ESOL program. So it was very interesting to get to learn all that language, particularly when people used to tell me, "What's up?" and I keep looking up. So that was an interesting dilemma of learning, but I wanted to thank you for the introduction and the privilege to speak to you on this special occasion. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I wish to extend our congratulations to Barbara, to Carolina, to the new members of the Athletic Hall of Fame, Chris, Patty, and the 1954 football team, and also for this great contribution. Thank you, Carl, for doing this for us. Without individuals like you, we will not be successful. I also wanted to thank all of you joining in this celebration. We have seen tonight MC alumni make a difference in our community, in our county, and throughout the world. Hearing the testimonies to your accomplishment this evening motivates me to uphold our mission of providing affordable, accessible, quality higher education. Congratulations to each honoree this evening. I am deeply moved by the impact your success contributes to benefit others. I look forward to the days ahead when the student colleague, we have a student board of trustee on the board, Trustee Luis Rosales, who is not here tonight, I'm sorry to see that, will take his place among our ranks of alumni. I trust he too will have a long and happy relationship with the colleagues through this and your alumni association. I hope you enjoy this event tonight as much as I did. We value your commitment and support this incredible institution. And we do hope to see you next year, 2017, at Alumni Awards, honoring Montgomery College distinguished alumni. I wish you safe travels, buenas noches, and everyone have a great time.